This Leo full moon is a discerning one, and it has the potential of a quantum leap within. And it comes with a cosmic breakthrough for many of us at this time, mid-February of 2025. This Leo full moon is speaking of that the true power of ourselves as a being comes from within, from our soul essence. And this full moon in Leo is really highlighting the potential we have to connect with our soul essence and commit to that frequency that we all come with. Welcome to New Light Living Podcast. I'm Ulrika Sullivan. I'm an intuitive spiritual life coach and a galactic astrologer. This video is a galactic astrology reading of the Leo full moon at 24 degrees and 6 minutes on February 12th, 2025. Welcome. What I do in these videos, I put an outer layer of fixed stars, celestial bodies, and galactic points to the traditional Western tropical astrology wheel. And that is to help us expand into a multidimensional view of ourselves, but also of our environment and the times we're living in. What you'll receive in this video are 3 energetic themes that I've pulled out from the galactic chart of this Leo full moon, and also 3 questions at the end, should you want to integrate these Leo full moon energies some more. Are you curious about your own galactic alignments? Download my Galactic Alignments Reference Guide. There's a link in the description box below. This full moon is square to the Centaurus constellation and the fixed star Beta Centauri Hadar at 24 degrees of Scorpio. And also, this full moon is square to Uranus at 23 degrees of Taurus, conjunct Perseus-Capulus. So this forms a beautiful grand cross that we're going to talk more about in energetic theme number 1 coming up. The ruler of this full moon is the sun, and as the ruler of the sign of Leo is highlighting the importance of communication and also self-care, because Ceres and Mercury are very close to the sun at this full moon. In addition, we have a background frequency of a grand air trine involving Bootes-Arcturus and also the Orion constellation. And we're going to talk more about this background flowing energy in energetic theme 2 coming up. This full moon in Leo is speaking of that the potential we have, the opportunity we have to walk a path of integrity and strengthen our discernment is a way to also prepare for a quantum leap. And in some way, it's required to walk in integrity and with discernment as we are becoming more transparent, becoming more in the know, so to say, of who we truly are, not just as a human walking to work or picking up the kids in the afternoon, but also at the soul level. This is a very powerful reminder to us at this full moon in Leo to go within, to go back to our center over and over and over again. And if you don't have a practice or a time per day where you connect back with your pure soul, your soul essence, this is the time, this is the highlight, this is the reminder at this full moon to walk through that gate, walk through that commitment. And we're going to talk more about this highlight of commitment in energetic theme 3 coming up. But this is really the sun and the moon in opposition here at the full moon is helping us to come to a culmination of a commitment to ourselves that we may want to make at this time. And this is a big highlight at this full moon because it's also linked into how we can serve the whole. And this is the discovery that we all are invited to strengthen and deepen at this time. The sense of what am I here for? Who am I? And how can I connect with deep soul gifts and talents that comes with our soul essence? Because at this full moon in Leo, we have an opportunity for an inner shift, a shift where all the work that we have gone through and done and transmuted within over a long period of time is now shifting into outward manifestation. And that requires that seed of integrity, that seed of discernment, and have those seeds to grow from now on, because an outward manifestation is requiring that inner transparency that we've been talking about in previous videos. But it's this shining from within that is the invitation here. Shining from within, just like the heart of the lion. When I tune into this full moon, it feels like it has strong links into the lunar eclipse coming up on March 14th at 23 degrees of Virgo. When we keep coming back to our soul essence, to connect with that pure part of ourselves over and over again, we come into a rhythm of harmony, and we see also and connect with higher frequencies that we have always available to us. But when we come back to it over and over and over again, it also helps us to elevate that vibration within. And through that process, we also uncover, we expose truths that we about ourselves, but also our environment, that we may not have been in contact with before. So this commitment is a higher spiral, if you will, to uncover more and more truths about ourselves. And this is very individual. So it happens as an inner transmutation, whatever that truth is that we need to uncover within ourselves to walk our path in more harmony. So this Leo full moon is inviting us to that commitment, to that walk in integrity and discernment. And whatever that means for you, in whatever area of your life that you would like to see more harmony, that's likely where you are invited to strengthen your integrity, your boundaries, and also your sense of discernment to be able to walk in more harmony as you move forward. As an opportunity, through all of that work that we have done within ourselves, to uncover more harmony, more transparency, and walking in harmony, there's also this higher purpose of how we can use that, our soul essence, that pure part of ourselves, to serve the whole. And that's really ultimately the purpose of this Leo full moon, to uncover that service, that purpose that actually also is available for us to share with others and the rest of the world. Because at this full moon, there's a quantum leap that's highlighted that is right in front of our nose. Are you grabbing this opportunity for a quantum leap through the heart at the Leo full moon? Yes, let's do it. Let's walk the path together. Before we go into the full moon chart, I'd like to share what the energetic themes are for this Leo full moon. The first theme is Cosmic Breakthrough Alert. And here we're going to talk about that grand cross that I mentioned in the introduction with Hadar, Capulus, and also asteroid Ceres. The second theme is self-empowerment flow. And here we're going to talk about that background frequency of that grand air trine involving Bootes-Arcturus and also Orion, and particularly the fixed star Meissa. The third theme is commitment to walk the path. And here we're going to talk about the messages from Pallas Athene, the asteroid Pallas Athene, asteroid Juno, and also dwarf planet Varda. And here we're also going to talk about Orion-Betelgeuse. It's a long-term influence that's highlighted here at this Leo full moon. And if you're a member at the galaxy level of my newly opened YouTube membership, you're going to receive an extra video where we go in depth with the opposition between dwarf planet Varda conjunct galactic center in opposition with Orion-Betelgeuse. So enjoy that. And if you're not yet a member, check out the link in the description box below and join us there. So next, let's take a look at the full moon chart. And after that, the 3 galactic energetic themes. And lastly, the questions at the end. All right, let's go. So here we have the full moon chart. And as you can see, the full moon here with the moon in Leo, 24 degrees 6 minutes, opposite the sun in Aquarius at 24 degrees 6 minutes there. And we also have, as I mentioned before, the square to Beta Centauri Hadar at 24 degrees of Scorpio. And the ruler of this full moon is the sun, as I mentioned before. So there's not so much to say about this full moon chart before we go into the energetic themes. So let's just dive into the first theme that I've called Cosmic Breakthrough Alert. From this opposition and this square to Beta Centauri Hadar, we also have a square to Uranus. Uranus is now direct since January 30th, and this is a very powerful square that is highlighting also that conjunction to Perseus-Capulus, the fixed star Capulus, where we feel ready to go now. This is a very forward-moving energy. It's a high alert energy. We have talked about Perseus-Capulus in previous videos, and the readiness of Perseus-Capulus conjunct Uranus here is a breakthrough coming from the unseen or very unexpected energy. So on February 12th here at this full moon, this will be in full force since it's a almost exact square between the full moon at 24 degrees here in Leo and 23 degrees of Taurus, where Uranus is currently. So this grand cross here is really one that is highlighting. The sun is very prominent at this full moon, understandably being the ruler of Leo, but also we have Ceres and Mercury in a close conjunction here with the sun, as you can see in Aquarius there. So this energy signature may signal that we are ready for a cosmic breakthrough. And this Grand Cross is a beautiful ignition of that energy. It's an up-leveling of consciousness through the heart. It's a heart-opening energy as well, with the cosmic galactic component mixed into it here. And it's so beautifully highlighted at this full moon in Leo. I'd like to give you a breakdown a little bit more of this energy around the sun, Ceres, and Mercury here in the late degrees of Aquarius. This is giving us a spotlight on that cosmic breakthrough that we now are in the momentum for since Uranus went direct. And Ceres is that energy of harvest. It's that energy of how we take care of ourselves and others. But also Mercury in the mix here is how we apply that with unconventional methods and communication to each other, but also within ourselves. So the sun is really highlighting here, giving us a hint of the Aquarian age, the advanced Aquarian age energies there in the third decan of Aquarius, and giving us some clues on what it requires to make that quantum leap. Beta Centauri Hadar is associated with unconditional love energy, and Perseus-Capulus conjunct Uranus here is giving us that ready to go, almost an anticipatory energy that we're in here at this Leo full moon. So it's a beautiful momentum. I almost like put a swirl to it. It's almost like a spiral energy that we are inviting here. But a grand cross energy is made up of squares. So even though it invites us to grow, it may not feel all that comfortable. This may also play out in areas of your life where you need to step into more of an heart opening, where you are invited to strengthen your integrity and discernment at this full moon in Leo. So here we have an image of, I pulled in Ceres there, image of very ripe harvest that we have available to us here at this full moon. And it requires us to treat ourselves well, to give back to ourselves, to nurture that inner seed, that soul essence, and truly connect with it. And Beta Centauri Hadar here is giving us the guidance through unconditional love. So all of that taken together is a beautiful invitation here that the sun is shining a light on at this full moon. So this theme, a cosmic breakthrough alert, is taking place at this Leo full moon, and it's preparing us for the lunar eclipse in Virgo at 23 degrees of Virgo on March 14th. And why do I say that? It's because Uranus has a critical role even at that lunar eclipse. At the lunar eclipse, Uranus will be in trine with the lunar eclipse. So between now and March 14th, about roughly a month, we have a lead up into the lunar eclipse energies. And there are some things that we need to expand. We're invited to expand during this period of time so that we can receive the lunar eclipse energies. And again, going back to Ceres conjunct the Sun and Mercury here, is that message around self-care, to take care of ourselves and connect with that soul essence. So that's a very beautiful message from this Leo full moon to helping us culminate this heart opening that we're invited to take part in, strengthening our integrity and discernment in the flow of that, so that we can reach into that quantum leap that Uranus may provide us with come the lunar eclipse, with that trine to the lunar eclipse. So let's take a look next at the second energetic theme that I've called self-empowerment flow. And here we're going to talk about that grand air trine, and also take a look at Orion and the fixed star Meissa. So here we have the second theme that I've called self-empowerment flow. And here I want to highlight again, we start with the Sun, Ceres, and Mercury conjunction there. And we have a trine to the Orion constellation and the fixed star Meissa at 24 degrees of Gemini. There are a number of the fixed stars, including the Orion Nebula, around 23, 24 degrees of Gemini. But Orion-Meissa is the one that is the closest to the degree and minute of the full moon here. And often when it comes to almost an exact orb, it means that there's a specific message associated with this fixed star. And then we have that trio in Aquarius, also in trine with the Bootes-Arcturus fixed star at 24 degrees of Libra. And that builds that grand air trine that is a background frequency, supportive, a flowing air frequency at this full moon. So for those of you who have personal planets or angles in the range of 23, 24, maybe 25 degrees of the air signs, you have the opportunity here to tap into something, and maybe it's linked into your soul essence that you are already in flow with, but you may not have connected with it just yet. Because this air grand trine is a powerful flowing spiral that is very harmonious, and it wants to bring you momentum. And if you have personal planets or angles with these degrees in water or earth signs, you may feel that there's a couple of steps here that requires you to jump through some hoops. At least it feels like you have to jump through some hoops to get there to that harmony. And it may be that you have to change your perspective of something to reach that increased level of flow. So consider that if you have personal planets or angles in the water and earth signs at this time, at this full moon, you may have to kind of take a look. What is it that I may need to shift is there another opportunity, another view? Staying open-hearted at this time for water and earth placements is highly suggested. And then we have the fire signs. For those of you who have 23, 24, 25 in the fire signs here, to utilize this air grand trine, you have a sextile to the air signs. So this may be that this opportunity is coming through someone else. A sextile is often energy that we are receiving from the external, either through someone else or something more physical in the environment. So look out for the signs there. It may come through any of your relationships that you have. Here I want to highlight Orion-Meissa. And we haven't talked about Orion-Meissa that much before, but I want to point out that Orion-Meissa is associated with futuristic scenarios, very discerning energy, but also a self-empowered energy. And being here also located in the head symbolically of in this constellation, it is also a guidance for us to empower ourselves in the way we're thinking and shifting perspective to something that's more supportive may be suggested here at the full moon in Leo. And with this message here, with the sun in Aquarius, with Ceres and Mercury opposite the moon in Leo, it really brings this grand air trine together through the sun, suggesting to us that we are invited to consider how we are taking care of ourselves. And it's not just physically, but mentally as well. So we're invited to open our hearts deeper to seek that soul essence of ours and being very gentle with that energy, increase our self-acceptance, nurture our deepest self in that regard. And here, Orion-Meissa is really linked into also through that trine to Bootes-Arcturus at 24 degrees of Libra, which is very much a emotional healing energy. Bootes-Arcturus is very much a overarching consciousness that is influencing our human evolution a lot at this time. But specifically here with Orion-Meissa and Ceres and Mercury and the Sun as part of this grand air trine, Arcturus is really pointing to the need for emotional healing at this time. And this is a flowing background frequency that we're invited to tap into, even though it may feel a little bit going outside the comfort zone with that grand cross that is in the forefront of the energy at this Leo full moon. And for those of you who have personal planets or angles in the third decan between 20 and 29 of a sign anywhere in your chart, you have the opportunity to align with something within yourself that you may not have connected with before during this time at the full moon. All right, let's take a look at the third energetic theme, which I called commitment to walk the path. And this is a long-term influence. And we're going to dive deeper into that commitment that is available to us next. So here we have the third energetic theme that I called commitment to walk the path. And this theme is about a long-term influence that we have been under and will be under quite some time more. I'd like to highlight this long-term influence at this full moon because we have some messengers in terms of asteroids and dwarf planets that are highlighting to us that this is important now. So I'd like to draw your attention to Neptune and the North Node there in Pisces. Neptune at 28 degrees, Neptune at 28 degrees, and the North Node now at 27 degrees of Pisces, conjunct Pegasus sheet. In square with the dwarf planet Varda. Thank you. There was a student of my 2025 Galactic Astrology program that alerted me to Varda's conjunction to the galactic center here and was curious about it. So I got curious as well. So I wanted to dive further into it. And if you are curious like me, I am sharing an extra video on my YouTube membership for members only, members at the galaxy level, where I dive deeper into this opposition. As you can see there, Varda is in opposition with Orion-Betelgeuse at 29 degrees of Gemini. And this axis is very interesting in terms of its influence on us at this time, not only because of Varda's entry into Capricorn in 2026, but also Jupiter's crossing Orion-Betelgeuse point at 29 degrees of Gemini in July of this year. So Jupiter is going to expand this point, this axis, this year already. But I got curious about all of this. The third theme here is about commitment and to walking the path as we move ahead the next year, 2 years, 3 years, and the next decade. So what are those messengers at this time? We have the asteroid Pallas there at 28 degrees of Capricorn. And we also have asteroid Juno at 28 degrees, almost 29 degrees of Scorpio, conjunct Centaurus Alpha Centauri here. So this is a trio that has a message here. And Varda at the culminating degree of 29, Pallas and Juno almost at 29. There is a message here for us. So this builds this yod between Pallas and Juno pointing at the 29 degree of Gemini where Betelgeuse is, and Varda in the middle there. So this is a very interesting formation, I feel, that we can glean some clues of the energetic signature here. So let's unpack this energetic signature some more. First, let's talk a little bit about these messengers, Pallas, Juno, and Varda. Pallas in Capricorn here is really culminating this need for being a peaceful warrior. Pallas is a very strong, clear-minded energy that is taking charge through peaceful measures. And we have Juno at 28th degree of Scorpio. She is the one that is asking us to make a commitment. The commitment part of Juno is very, very strong here at the end of Scorpio, because Scorpio indicates that there is an invitation for us all to go deep, super deep at this time and make a commitment to ourselves, to unearth the beauty within us. And Juno is there to help us make that commitment as deep as we can go. Varda, which is new to me, I had to do some research on Varda, is very interesting. And she's been conjunct the galactic center for quite a while. Varda is also in Sagittarius here, a visionary, an energy associated with not being afraid of the darkness, but actually starting to walk a path out of the darkness towards the light. And Varda conjunct the galactic center here is just giving a magnitude of relevance to our galaxy. Galactic center is the universal driver of our own galaxy, the Milky Way here. So Varda's message is to really channel to us the importance of walking the path, taking even if it feels dark and we don't really see the shapes, what it's going to become, we still have to bring in hope and use our discernment to walk step by step forward. Varda also is bringing in new consciousness with her. So it's very magical energy associated with Varda, a multidimensional energy that has to do with being comfortable with not seeing what the outcome is going to be. What's worth to mention too is that Varda is square with the nodes. So that growth opportunity, it's also signaling that growth that is needed to walk in the direction forward. And Betelgeuse there, in opposition to Varda, is very interesting. And we've talked about this fixed star a couple of times in my videos. And for those who are not familiar with Orion-Betelgeuse, it's a energy associated with this fixed star that has to do with resilience and being resourceful, but also being ready. Very much a ready to go energy as well. And as you can see on the map here, is that Betelgeuse is in the Orion raised arm there that is ready to strike with the sword. So it's very much a energy to be resilient with when we are going to strike, so to say. And sometimes that comes with increased need for discernment. So this all taken together is an interesting focus on Orion-Betelgeuse here. We have that yod with Pallas, Varda, and Juno pointing towards Orion-Betelgeuse at 29 degrees of Gemini, but also this grand cross with the nodes and Neptune, that Varda opposition to Betelgeuse and the galactic center there at the top is providing us with. So this is a signature of new consciousness incoming. And with the galactic center involved here and Varda leading the path forward out from the dark into the light, guided by Pallas and Juno here, and the qualities that those bring in archetypally, it's a guidance for us at this time. Because I also highlighted Jupiter here on a previous slide. Jupiter here is moving into conjuncting Orion-Betelgeuse in June this year. So this is also a message that is going to be emphasized and expanded. So let's keep an eye on Jupiter's path here from now on to June this year, when the crossover ingress to Cancer is happening. And we're going to talk more about this as we go along. And with Jupiter now being direct since February 4th, it's really go time towards this point. And Jupiter also will be traversing the connections and fixed stars associated with the Orion constellation. Orion constellation is associated with Gemini, 16 degrees to 29 degrees. So this theme of the Orion constellation and likely of duality, polarization, and many soul memories are going to be stirred up and expanded within ourselves over the course of this time. Now, when Jupiter is direct, Jupiter went direct on February 4th. So this is really a expanding time. And we have some guidance here at this full moon in Leo to consider. I also want to mention that Varda is now at 29 degrees of Sagittarius. I was curious when Varda's ingress to Capricorn is going to happen. Varda is going to sit here at the anorectic degree of 29 all this year and into the first 2 weeks of 2026. So yes, this theme, this long-term influence, is a significant message to us to go deeper with our commitment to walk the path and unearth our soul essence and connect with it and lead with it coming year here and forward. And as we do that, we also usher in a new consciousness of a higher vibration, this grand air trine and this yod. Lots of invitations to go outside the comfort zone. It almost feels like a purification type of energy that we are invited to align with. And that feels very promising. And if we take Varda's message, for example, to lead with inspiration and hope, we cannot go wrong. So the more we connect to that soul essence that has only our purest energy of us, of our soul, it's also inviting us to lead with inspiration and hope. So if you're curious to dive deeper with this Varda energy, join me at the galaxy level of my YouTube membership. And there's a link to join us in the description box below. So I have a couple of questions. Should you want to integrate this Leo full moon energy some more? So the first question is, where is your natal Uranus in your chart? And also, where is transiting Uranus in your chart? Because Uranus has a point to make at this full moon in Leo. Now going direct and being full force forward with providing us with those cosmic breakthroughs. So notice where transiting Uranus is in your chart and also your natal Uranus. Look at the house of your natal Uranus, but also the house that transiting Uranus is in right now. Transiting Uranus is at 23 degrees of Taurus. Your natal Uranus may be in another sign. So take a look at what house Uranus transits and natal Uranus is in, because that may be a connection to what area of your life that this insights. So look at what house primarily your Uranus, your natal Uranus is in, but also how your natal Uranus links into the transiting Uranus, if there is a aspect to the transiting Uranus as well, because this may give you a little clue on what area of life you are meant to use to go further deeper into connecting with your soul essence and also your galactic self. So observe that what that expression of your soul essence takes. It also may be through that area of life that your natal Uranus is and what house that is. So notice that, how Uranus is playing with you at this time. The second question is, how can you lean into that flowing grand air trine that we have? Fueled by Uranus, Orion-Meissa, and Arcturus. How can you lean into that spiral of air energy that is available to us here at this full moon? And the third question is, how can you commit to uncover that authentic, pure self-expression that is you? The third question is, how can you commit to the process of uncovering that unique, authentic self-expression that is you? Maybe you need support to do. I offer readings and also professional coaching that primarily is focused on at this time to support others uncover this unique expression about themselves, the soul essence. And when we connect with the soul essence of ourselves, a lot of things fall into place, and it takes a commitment to do. And Juno and Pallas is helping us to make those commitments at this time. So I thought it would be good to mention that there is support. You are not alone. And if you're curious about this, reach out to me and we'll work together to integrate your specific, unique self-expression into your life. Are you curious about your own galactic alignments? Download my Galactic Alignments Reference Guide. There's a link in the description box below. I love doing these videos for you. And if you want more, join my YouTube membership where we are having fun with extra videos, deep dives, and extra questions. There are 3 levels within the membership for you to consider. The Star membership is where you can ask your questions, including questions on your own galactic alignments, and receive answers back from me. The Galaxy level is where you get extra member-only videos and also extra questions to work with. And the Universe level is where you can substantially support this channel and my work. And we also are planning to, maybe later on, as the members join here, may have live Q&As and live workshops within that level. So whatever level is suitable for you, I would love to see you inside the membership. We're having so much fun here, diving into the galactic astrology of this Leo full moon. And thank you for being with me all the way to the end. Thank you for listening to New Light Living podcast. I'm Ulrika Sullivan. I'm an intuitive spiritual life coach and a galactic astrologer. This is the full moon in Leo at 24 degrees 6 minutes on February 12th. Visit me on ulrikasullivan.com, and I'll be back soon with another video. Bye.